A wife like you, a slacker, is not worth staying together anymore. If you have complaints, let's get a divorce.
It was unmistakably my husband, who was red in the face and yelling in front of me. Why did I end up marrying such a man? Just when I was thinking we should live supporting each other with my child. Custody goes to the father, right? Huh? Suddenly, my daughter was confronted with a reality. But my daughter had a secret plan. My name is Mary, and I'm 42 years old. I have been married to my husband Kyle for almost 20 years. We're a family of 3. My husband, me, and our first-year high school daughter, Melanie. My husband is a workaholic, and since our daughter was little, we didn't have many family outings. I also liked my job, so I wanted to return to work when I put my daughter in daycare. But I was ordered by my husband like this.
You are a wife and a mother. Just take care of the house. Don't even think about working. That's ridiculous.
He provides for the living expenses, so there was no need to worry about our livelihood. But neither my daughter nor I are seeking such a life. What we desire is to go out more as a family, spend time together as a family of 3. However, even when I told my husband about it, he would dismiss it, saying,
Talking about such thing is a waste of time. Unlike you two, I work every day, and that's my prime time.
And he would treat me and my daughter as nuisances, putting the blame on us. Even as my daughter was still young, she seems to have noticed that my husband was rejecting family time. At some point, the amount of time I spent talking to my husband decreased drastically. On the positive side, my daughter and I were close, like sisters. We go shopping together, go to the movies on weekends. As she grew up, she became more helpful, giving me some free time for myself. My husband is relatively quiet, as long as my daughter doesn't talk to him. He eats his meals without any complaints. My daughter and I had grown accustomed to such a life. One day, my husband started complaining about me.
Hey, I have been thinking, what's the deal with the meals you make?
Huh? I didn't do anything special.
Something is off. Every single day, you serve up such awful food. Who do you think buys the ingredients for you? Despite being a stay-at-home mom, can't you even cook properly?
He would rant and shout like this unreasonably, even though my cooking had never been praised before. I have never been subjected to such harsh words.
And it's bland in flavor. Are you treating me like an old man? Who do you think is supporting our lives?
Well, my daughter, who had been silently enduring my husband's tyrannical behavior, suddenly spoke up while we were having a meal together. Dad, can you stop yelling from the morning? It's really annoying. And if you think that this is bland, why don't you add seasoning yourself? You're not a child, you know. My husband was momentarily taken aback by daughter's clear retort. Apparently, he didn't know how to deal with my daughter because he hadn't interacted with her properly before. He usually just ignored her whenever she said something. Hey, Dad, are you listening? It's true that we can live thanks to your money, but who do you think is cooking for us? Who enables us to have meals every day? Who takes care of the laundry to ensure we have clean shirts every day?
Well, that's...
Faced with a confrontation from his disliked daughter, my husband struggled to respond. Then, he began to redirect his focus from our daughter to me.
Hey, because of your bad parenting, Melanie has grown into such a defiant brat, right? How do you plan to take responsibility?
Hold on. What do you mean by calling your own daughter a brat?
Huh. It's the truth, right? I'm sure Melanie will turn into a bad person just like you.
My husband snickers triumphantly. I couldn't tolerate being insulted myself, let alone my daughter. Cut it out already. Saying such things to your precious daughter. You're the worst. In response to my raised voice, my husband retorted with a mocking look.
A useless wife like you is not worth being with anymore. If you have a problem with it, get a divorce.
Divorce? Why are you suddenly saying that?
What's wrong? Are you troubled by the idea of getting divorced? Well, I guess so. An unemployed housewife like you could never survive on your own.
Saying this, my husband began to laugh loudly, considering my long period as a stay-at-home wife. As my husband claimed, I didn't have much in terms of savings. If I were to divorce and raise my daughter alone, I could foresee the hardships. But to stay with such a man in the future, that was absolutely unbearable. While I wrestled with this inner conflict, my daughter spoke up again. Mom, it's going to be okay. You don't have to force yourself to stay married to Dad. I'm smart, and I support your decision. Melanie, with those words from my daughter, it felt like a weight was lifted from my heart. My daughter, who was my biggest concern, was supporting me in this decision. Even though there would be challenges, being with my beloved daughter, I made up my mind and agreed to my husband's divorce demand. Fine, let's get a divorce. Then my husband, as if waiting for this, took out the pre-filled divorce form from his bag.
Here, sign this. Then I will give you some money for moving expenses as a farewell gift.
You're quite prepared, huh?
Of course. I've wanted a divorce for a long time. I've been dropping hints for ages. Didn't you notice? Besides, you are too persistent.
So, my husband deliberately made annoying remarks to hasten the divorce process. He had grown to dislike me that much. At that point, I stopped caring about everything. I signed the divorce papers as instructed, and my husband handed me some money.
Do your best with that money.
While taking it, I felt like I was losing, but honestly, I could use the money. Silently, I accepted it and tucked it away. As soon as I decided on the divorce, it felt like a huge burden was lifted from my shoulders, and I immediately decided to live with my daughter. Melanie, let's prepare together. At least until we find our new home, we can stay at my mom's place. Just as I was about to say that, I'm not moving. Custody is with Dad, right? Huh? But what did you just say? Not moving? Custody with Dad? My daughter's words left me in a panic.
Wait a minute, Melanie. What do you mean? You are going to live with your mom.
But I'm in high school, you know. I don't want to transfer now. And moving is a hassle, right?
Then mom will find a house near your high school, okay?
It's fine, really. I'm used to living in this house, and I've decided to live efficiently. My daughter's expression was lively, and she seems completely untroubled. Seeing her like that made me feel a bit sad. Maybe I was the only one who thought we were a close-knit parent-child pair. My daughter's reaction was more shocking than my husband's divorce demand. However, it wasn't just me who was shaken by her decision. My husband too seemed flustered.
Don't mess around. Normally, daughters live with their mothers, right? You should live with her too.
Be quiet. I said I don't want to. I said I don't want to. When you turn 16, you can choose which parent to live with based on your own will. That's why I'm saying I will stay with Dad.
I don't care about that. Weren't you close to Mary? So why?
Like I said before, moving is a hassle, and considering efficiency, it's more convenient for dad to have custody. While my daughter explained with ease, my husband clearly wasn't convinced. Despite yelling multiple times,
Live with Mary.
my daughter adamantly shook her head. Then she continued, Mom, I will help you pack too. It will be faster if we do it together, right? Saying that, she started gathering things in my room. I couldn't understand this child's intentions at all. What is Melanie thinking? I was momentarily confused. No, maybe I was the only one who thought we were close like sisters, and she never really liked me from the beginning. Thinking pessimistically, tears welled up naturally. As I hid my face to keep it from my daughter, she spoke to me cheerfully. It's okay, Mom. Just a little more patience. Eh? For a moment, I froze, not understanding what she meant. However, that confusion was dispelled when I heard about a certain plan from my daughter. That's how it is. So, Mom, please hang in there, even if you are alone. Yes, I understand. With my daughter as a collaborator, I became determined. I won't let my husband have his way. I will definitely get my revenge. With this resolve, I packed my belongings and left our home. Afterward, I returned to my parents' house, and a month later, I was able to rent an apartment. When I informed my daughter of the new apartment's address, she started dropping by after high school. According to my daughter, the plan was progressing smoothly. It's about time for things to start moving. My daughter informed me of this around 3 months after my husband's divorce request. As expected, one day, a call came from my husband.
Hello? Is this Mary? Please help me.
My husband's first words were in tears. I pretended not to know anything and asked him, Help you? What happened?
Melanie, she treats me like a housekeeper every day. I can't take it anymore.
It was just as I expected. Since I left, my daughter has been correcting my husband on all household chores.
Even though I have work, she keeps saying, cook proper meals and do laundry every day. She complains about the taste of the food, saying it's too strong or unappetizing. I'm really stressed out.
All the unreasonable things my husband had said to me were now being thrown back at him by my daughter. The consequences of his own actions were coming back to haunt him. My husband, without realizing it, was seeking my help.
Please, take Melanie back. I'm seriously losing my mind like this.
Honestly, taking Melanie back was not a problem for me. In fact, I wanted to live with her again as soon as possible. However, if I agreed now, it would ruin my daughter's carefully planned strategy. So I told my husband this. Tell that to Melanie, not me. Custody is Melanie's choice. If you really want her to leave, why not negotiate with my daughter? I decisively hung up the phone. That's enough. For now, I will ignore personal feelings and faithfully follow my daughter's plan. A week later, Melanie, having received a substantial sum of money, moved into my apartment. Well done, Mom. Our plan was a great success. Indeed, all thanks to you, Melanie. That's right. My daughter never intended to live separately from me in the first place. Naturally, my daughter arranged for custody to be temporarily with her father, making him understand the challenges of household chores and the struggles of being a mother. After that, she ensured that my husband reached a point where he insisted,
I really want our daughter to leave.
Then she secured a promise for a lump sum payment of child-rearing support until she reached adulthood. With this as a condition, my daughter decided to move out. That was her strategy. Following the plan, Melanie received a calculated amount of $1,000 a month, totaling about $50,000 from her father in one lump sum, just as planned. And so, under clear skies, she moved into my apartment. Truly, my daughter devised a frightening plan though. However, thanks to her plan, financial worries have indeed disappeared. That alone is more than enough. Yet, my daughter brought even more valuable information to me. And then, Mom, look at this. What is it? She handed me a voice recorder. Just press the play button. Pressured by my daughter, I played the voice recorder. There, my husband's conversation with someone on the phone was recorded.
Oh, the divorce is settled properly. But you see, there's our daughter. No, it's fine. I will kick her out properly. Huh? I only love you, Julia. Oh, Julia? It seems the daughter is finally moving out. Now I can live with you, Julia. Yeah, I love you too.
Undoubtedly, it was my husband's voice talking to his affair partner. Furthermore, my daughter showed me a photo of my husband with an unfamiliar woman. What is this, Melanie? What's with this photo? I dug through his phone while making him do house chores. Oh, they are saved text messages with affair partner too. Wanna see? My daughter joyfully presented evidence of my husband's affair one after another. Terrifying. That's what I thought. But thanks to the evidence she gathered, I could claim alimony from my husband. After hiring a lawyer and claiming alimony from my husband, he called.
Hey, what do you mean alimony now? We are already divorced. Whether I have a relationship with someone or not, have nothing to do with it, right?
Then, my daughter snatched the phone from me and responded, Hey Dad, even though you are an adult, don't you know? If infidelity is discovered within 3 years after the divorce, you can still claim alimony. Got it?
No.
My husband seems unaware of this fact, and he was left speechless on the other end of the call. He fell completely into his own daughter's trap. Ignoring my husband, who was screaming like crazy, I rejected the call and left the rest to the lawyer. In the end, my ex-husband and his affair partner agreed to pay alimony in a lump sum to me. My ex-husband remarried Julia, his affair partner, but she turned out to be a spender, spending all his salary. She even maxed out my ex-husband's credit card, accumulating debts. The fact that my ex-husband's divorce was due to infidelity quickly spread within the company, and it seems colleagues around him are looking at him with disapproval. I heard he was cheating even though he has a high school daughter. Yeah, he used to show off at work with that confidence appeal, right? The rumor spread to higher ups, and despite recently getting a promotion, he ended up being demoted. With that, his salary decreased, and he faces daily verbal abuse from his new wife, known for her extravagant spending. It's a level of hardship that makes you feel a bit sympathetic. On the other hand, I'm leading a happy life with my daughter. I've saved all the child support I received from my ex-husband for my daughter's university education. Although not wealthy, my daughter never complains. Somehow, every day is lively, and I truly appreciate having my daughter. Together, we can overcome any difficulties that may come our way in the future. I'm sincerely grateful for this happiness.
Get out.
What? Suddenly told by my husband Adam to leave. My mind went blank. We got married shortly after finding out I was pregnant a few months ago. The birth is approaching, and I believed we'd soon be happily living together as a family of 3. But now, he's trying to kick me out of the house. Does he expect me, with no income, to survive on my own? Wasn't he looking forward to the arrival of our baby? As I struggled to accept reality, he delivered the final blow.
Get out. Don't come back until I say you can.
Wait a minute. This is so sudden. I don't understand.
Just shut up and leave now.
My husband, furious like I've never seen, yelled at me. Terrified by this new side of him, I fled the house. I'm Jane, 28 years old. I studied design at the technical college and got a job at the production company after graduation. Our company gets requests for designs, illustrations, company logos, and brochures. That's where I met my husband Adam. He worked for a fairly large company and came to us for a brochure design. I was assigned to his project, and we had several meetings to ensure everything was done right. At first, it was all business talk, but gradually, we began sharing personal stories. Discovering we both enjoyed movies, we started meeting outside of work. About a year after we met, we began dating. We just celebrated our 2nd anniversary. While eating our anniversary cake, I brought up something important. Hey Adam, I have something important to tell you today.
What? You look so serious. You're scaring me.
It's not bad news.
Phew, okay then. So what's the important news?
Well, actually, I pulled an ultrasound photo from an envelope and showed it to him. Seeing it, he widened his eyes and murmured,
Is this what I think it is?
Yes, I'm pregnant with our baby.
Are you serious? No way! Wow! I'm so happy. But why am I tearing up?
Don't cry. If you cry, then I will.
Oh man, I'm really happy. Thank you. I promise to make you happy.
Thank you, Adam. I want to be happy with you and our baby. That's how we decided to go from lovers to spouses. But there was one problem. Adam's mother, Holly, didn't approve of our marriage. When we went to his parents' house to announce the pregnancy and our marriage, his father, Derek, smiled happily. But Holly glared at me and accused me. You seduced my son. What are you playing at? I don't seduce him. You're just after his money because he works at a good company, aren't you? No, I genuinely love him. I wonder about that. You're just a technical college graduate. Don't get too comfortable with my son. I felt completely invalidated and couldn't hold back my tears. Derek tried to intervene, but Holly showed no sign of remorse. In the midst of this, Adam yelled louder than anyone.
Mom, enough!
Why are you angry, Adam? I'm doing this for you.
If you're thinking of me, then don't badmouth the person I chose. Jane is talented and doing great at her company.
You don't need to defend her. You can do so much better than her.
Jane is the most important person to me. She doesn't deserve your insults.
Adam. Holly looked tearful. She adored him and seemed to fluctuate with every word he said. Despite her opposition, we collected our paperwork and registered our marriage the following month. We officially started our married life 4 months into the pregnancy. Holly's words had hurt me, but we managed to get through it. I thought we would support each other going forward, but at that time, I didn't realize a huge storm was approaching our marriage. I noticed it around the 5th month of my pregnancy. My company has a policy for early maternity leave, especially since the CEO is a woman who prioritizes health during pregnancy. After I announced my pregnancy, they encouraged me to take maternity leave early. Grateful for my colleagues' kindness, I started my leave in the 5th month. Every heartbeat and ultrasound movement filled me with incredible love. I truly understand the preciousness of having a child with the person I love. Now on maternity leave, I plan to take it easy for the baby. I dreamed of going places with Adam and our baby. While showing him the ultrasound, we made plans for the future. Hey, where should we take our baby once they are born?
Well, how about we all go to the aquarium we love?
I was truly happy seeing my husband talk excitedly about it. Then, a few days later, while I was taking it easy and doing housework, the doorbell rang. When I opened the door, there stood my mother-in-law Holly, looking perplexed. "Oh, hi Holly." She frowned at my calling her name. "Don't call me by my first name so casually. And how long are you planning to leave me standing here?" "Oh, sorry, please come in." "You are quite disrespectful to your mother-in-law." She rudely kicked off her shoes and burst into the living room, sitting on the sofa with a sigh. "You weren't sleeping, were you?" "No, I was just cleaning." "Cleaning, huh? But I saw hair on the hallway floor." "I've only vacuumed the living room so far. I was going to do the hallway next." "You always have an excuse, don't you?" "Really? Is that how you tricked my son too?" "No, it's not like that." "Well, whatever. I came here today to tell you something important." She stood up abruptly and came close to me, pointing coldly at my now slightly noticeable belly. "Just because you are pregnant, don't bother my son. Raise that child on your own." "Excuse me? What are you talking about?" "There are better women out there for Adam, not someone like you from the bottom rung." "How can you say that? That's too much." "Shut up. You changed my son. He used to be such a good boy, but you made him strange. Divorce him." She threw holy water on me, shouting, "Demon!" while splashing it. I was beyond keeping my composure. Why? Why does this have to be happen to me? I just want to be happy with Adam and our baby. She seemed satisfied seeing me soaked in holy water and left soon after. Meanwhile, I felt completely broken. I should tell Adam about this, but I was too ashamed to admit how much his mother hated me. The next day, letters started arriving daily for Adam. At first, he didn't pay much attention, but recently, he has been frowning as he read them. One day, after reading a letter, he crumpled it and trembled. Concerned, I cautiously asked him, "Hey, you have been getting letters recently without a sender."
It doesn't concern you.
Why are you speaking to me like that?
Just drop it. It's my mail, not yours.
Sorry. After that day, his attitude became colder. He used to come home on time, but now he's late. On weekends, he used to go out with me, but now he goes out alone. Whenever I ask what he's doing, he just says,
"It's none of your business. Don't worry about it."
Even when I told him our baby was a girl, he briefly smiled, but then quickly went back to being expressionless. Can we really continue like this after the baby is born? That thought tightened its grip on my heart. As my pregnancy moved into the later stages, and the due date was 3 months away. Adam came home early one day, looking gloomier than ever. The air was so heavy, I struggled to speak. But knowing something serious was up, I forced myself to ask, "Adam, is something wrong?" He wouldn't look at me. Then, in a shocking cold voice, he said something I will never forget.
Get out!
What? His abrupt words left me completely stunned. I was about to give birth, yet he's asking me to leave? The reality that I was being thrown out of my home was inescapable. He really wants me, with no income, to survive on my own? Wasn't he excited for our baby's arrival? As I couldn't comprehend this, he delivered the final blow.
Get out! Don't come back until I say you can.
Wait a minute. This is so sudden. I don't understand.
Just shut up and leave now.
Terrified my yelling husband, my legs shook. Not knowing what to do, I quickly packed some things and called my father. He said he would come to pick me up, and I decided to take refuge at my parents' house for a while. That's how I left the house, as if fleeing. The following days were tough. Adam wouldn't reply to my messages or calls. My father apparently talked to him once, but he was vague about the conversation. Why could my father talk to him, but not me? I couldn't stop crying from the shock. The next month, while cooking with my mom, the doorbell rang. My dad unusually answered it, so I continued cooking. Then, he called my mom and me into the living room. There stood Adam and Holly. Adam, it's been a while.
Jane, have you been okay?
How could I be okay? You've been ignoring all my calls and messages. What have you been doing? Why? I couldn't suppress my questions and ended up speaking harshly. My pent-up anger and sadness had definitely reached a peak. Adam lowered his head, his voice trembling as if he were crying.
Jane, I'm really sorry. I had no other way to do this without telling you anything.
What do you mean? I don't understand what you're apologizing for.
I didn't want to do this either, but this was the only way to protect you.
Protect me? I asked back immediately, not understanding what he meant. He nodded slightly and began to explain.
My being cold to you and sending you back to your parents was all to protect you.
That still doesn't make any sense to me.
Do you remember the letters I was receiving?
Yes, I remember. The ones you never showed me, no matter how many times I asked.
Right. I brought them today.
He took out a bunch of letters from his bag and laid them on the table. Reading the words in the letters, I was speechless. Divorce your wife. If you don't, your wife will be harmed. Do you care what happens to the child? Divorce a useless woman who can only bear a girl. Tears flowed freely as I read the heartless words. Adam had kept these letters from me to protect my feelings, just as he said.
Not knowing who sent these, I thought it could be someone dangerous. I feared for your safety when you were alone during the day.
So that's why you told me to leave?
Yes. I thought our house might be bugged or under surveillance. That's why I had to say it like that. I'm really sorry.
Adam.
As I explained everything to your father over the phone and asked him to relay the message to your mother, I just wanted you to be kept in the dark until everything was settled.
Why? Why did you have to bear this alone? Then he showed a troubled smile and spoke tearfully.
because you are kind but stubborn. If I told you everything, I knew you'd say, I'm fine, I want to stay with you, and refuse to go to your parents.
Well,
I knew you'd insist on facing this together.
my parents nodded in agreement. I then asked about something that had been bothering me. Adam, why did you bring your mother here? The atmosphere froze with my question. Adam, trembling, confessed.
The sender of the letters was actually my mom.
No way! She's your mother. She wouldn't.
She told me something. She splashed holy water at you, didn't she?
Yes, that happened.
She was determined to make us divorce. When I mentioned consulting the police about the letters, she immediately confessed.
That's unbelievable. Holly, pale-faced and downcast, winced when I called her name. She then glared at me and yelled, "It's all your fault! My son hates me because of you!" Holly, if it weren't for you, Adam would still be with me. Overwhelmed, she screamed in distress, leaving my parents and me speechless. Adam, remaining composed, firmly grabbed her arm and spoke sternly.
Enough already. How much trouble do you need to cause? You promised to apologize today, coming here. But she took you away from me, from your mother. Nonsense. You have no right to call yourself a mother after sending those criminal letters. I won't let you meet our child, and I won't see you again. Our relationship ends today. Stay out of our lives. No! Adam, please forgive me. She broke down in tears. I felt no sympathy, only pity for her. Later, her husband Derek forcefully took her home. It seems he's now considering divorce. Adam and I are suing her for the letters. Having only worked part-time before, she's struggling with multiple jobs to pay the compensation. As for me, I recently gave birth to a healthy baby girl. Keeping up with her rapid growth is my sole focus. Hoping her future is filled with light, we named her Lucy. She will have many experiences as she grows. As parents, Adam and I will support her as much as we can. That's our plan for now.